which you, my God, have created. Nothing can truly show its beauty. Nothing can truly set me free, except your love flowing through my being, speaking to me of things unknown, and in your love flowing through my being, my soul awakens to you. And the joy of this awakening just cannot be described. Nothing can truly tell its wonder. Nothing can ever give such peace, except your love flowing through my being, speaking to me of things unknown, and in your love flowing through my being, my soul awakens to you.
Hello, welcome to our Hermitage Garden. It's lovely to have you with us, and welcome to all our meditators. Welcome also into this hermitage where I spend many hours in prayer. Because we can't gather like we usually do, it seemed to the sisters it might be good if we prepared a series of videos so that you can meditate with us in your own homes. The series is going to be a series of meditating on the nature and beauty of our own human souls. And each episode, a saint will guide us, one of the great saints or mystics in the church. Today's saint will be Saint Clare, who, of course, is the founders of my own order, the Poor Clares. But first, a little word about our souls. What exactly is our soul? What is it? In many ways, it's a great mystery to us. We don't really know our souls. But I think we have a sense of our souls when we know that inside ourselves we are aware that there's more to us than what people in the outer world see. In fact, we may also be aware that there's more to us than we ourselves know. In some ways, we are a mystery to ourselves. It's like there's a beyond that we can't quite grasp. And this beyond is within us. You know, the way we live in this world and the way we have to negotiate life calls us always to present ourselves in some way to the outer world. And we can sometimes forget that this outer world is not our real reality. It's not it. And often we are not within our own reality, because to enter into the depth of our soul, or the essence of our being, we really have to take time out of the world and enter into meditation, or as I would call it, contemplation. And so the meditations we will do will be an experience of entering into our souls, and in each episode we will be guided by a saint, a mystic, who has already lived this. So first, just a word from some of the saints and mystics about our souls. So let us begin with Jesus himself. You know, the reason why God sent Jesus to the earth, his beloved Son, was to bring the kingdom of heaven to us. We're told in the letter to the Colossians that this is what God has done for us. He's taken us out of the dominion of the darkness of this world and transferred us into the kingdom of his beloved Son. Now, it is true we won't experience the fullness of his kingdom, the kingdom of heaven, until we die, but he did bring it to us, and it is there for us to enter and experience. It is within us. That's what he said. He said, don't believe people when they come and tell you, oh, you'll find it over here, or you'll find it there. He said, the kingdom is within you. That's where you'll find it. And the wonderful thing is that when we find it within us, we then discover it's all around us. So let us look at how the saints of the past experienced this heavenly kingdom within themselves during their earthly life. We'll begin with Isaac of Nineveh of the 7th century. He says, enter eagerly into the treasure house that lies within you, and so you will see the treasure house of heaven, for the two are one and the same. And there is but one single entry into them both. He goes on to say, the way that leads to the kingdom is hidden within you and is found in your own soul. Dive into yourself, and in your own soul you will discover the way to ascend. So it is through entering into the depths of our own souls, into the depths of our hearts, that we discover the way to ascend to the heavenly realm. St. Augustine spent many years of his life searching for real happiness and searching for fulfillment. And eventually, he came to realize that the only true happiness and fulfillment was within his own soul. And so we get from St. Augustine that famous and wonderful text. Late have I loved you, O beauty ever ancient, ever new. Late have I loved you. You were within me, but I was outside, and it was there that I searched for you. In my unloveliness, I plunged into the lovely things which you created. You were with me, but I was not with you. This can happen to so many of us. For most of us, it takes years before we come to realize that the outer world does not give us happiness. Material things don't give us happiness. And so, like Augustine, it can take us a long time to discover the real peace and joy of life comes from within the depths of our own soul. Meister Eckhart speaks of something similar when he tells us that deep down in us there is a place that has never been wounded. That is the place of pure soul, where life's hurts has never touched. It is a pure place, and it is the dwelling place of God. And it is there we go in contemplative prayer. Thomas Merton says the same thing, but in a different way. At the center of our being is a point of nothingness which is untouched by sin and by illusion, a point of pure truth, a point or spark which belongs entirely to God, which is never at our disposal, from which God disposes of our lives, which is inaccessible to the fantasies of our own mind or the brutalities of our own will. This little point of nothingness and of absolute poverty is the pure glory of God in us. St. Clare of Assisi grasped this in a most profound way. She really understood that deep down inside the essence of our being, that pure part of the soul, is just as beautiful as Christ himself, that we are made in God's own image, and that we can access this place in ourselves. She teaches us that if we want to know what this essence of our soul looks like, all we have to do is look at Christ, because he is an image of what we are like. She speaks of him as a mirror and constantly asks us to see him that way, as one reflecting back to us just who we truly are. She sees what Christ says. Blessed are the poor, for theirs is the kingdom. And she knows this is the way to know the kingdom of our own souls. O blessed poverty, who bestows eternal riches on those who love and embrace her. O holy poverty, to those who possess and desire you, God promises the kingdom of heaven. So let us now enter into our meditation, and when we get into that inner space, we'll await St. Clare and her guidance. Just sit comfortably and relax. 2 feet on the floor, hands restfully on your lap. Close your eyes. The image on the screen will not change now, so you can sit with your eyes closed throughout this meditation in a way that's relaxed for you. Enter into your inner self through taking gentle but deep breaths for a moment. Just become aware of your breathing. And as you do so, shed all the stresses of the day. Let everything go. And follow your breath with your mind inside your own being. Leave the outer world and become the person you are deep inside. Enter into this place and await the presence of St. Clare as she comes to you now.
I speak to your love, and I rejoice and exult with you in the joy of the Spirit. I will spare my words and offer them to you in the hope that you can draw from them some consolation. Always be a lover of your soul. To me, it is clear that the soul of a faithful person, the most worthy of all creatures because of the grace of God, is greater than heaven itself. For the heavens, with the rest of creation, cannot contain their Creator. Only a faithful soul is God's dwelling place and God's throne. And this is possible only through love, which wicked people do not have. The one who is the truth has said, "Whoever loves me will be loved by my Father, and I too will love them." And we shall come to them and make our dwelling place within them. This is our true life. So then, always be a lover of your soul. With our minds alone, we create a very small world for ourselves to inhabit, often a fearful and troubled world. Also, it is through our minds that the subtleties of the crafty enemy, the Prince of Darkness, enter and stir in us the pride that destroys our human nature and the vanity that infatuates our human hearts. However, helped by a special gift of wisdom from God, we can see through these subtleties. We also know that it is by humility and with the strong arms of our own poverty we can take hold of that incomparable treasure hidden in the field of the world and in our human hearts. This is the kingdom of heaven. Enter now into this kingdom, which is indeed within you. Gaze upon Christ, the Holy One, as you would gaze in a mirror, and see there in Him your own inner face. Gaze upon Him and place your mind in the peace of His eternal love. Seeing in His peace a true reflection of your own inner face. Let go of the fearful mind and rest in the safe ground of His eternal presence. Surrender your troubled mind into the sure protection of His love, which surrounds you. Place your soul in the brilliance of His glory and contemplate Him whose beauty all the heavenly hosts admire unceasingly. And see reflected in Him, as you would see in a mirror, the beauty of your own inner face. Place your heart in Him, who is the true image of God's very being. Contemplate Him whose love inflames your own heart's love. And see in Him that love which you truly are. Continue to contemplate Him whose graciousness is our joy, and see reflected there that gracious joy which is you. Contemplate Him whose gentleness fills us to overflowing, and see there reflected the gentle light of His divine presence emanating from your own being. It is through this contemplation each day that you will transform your entire being into the image of God. Farewell, dearest one. Always rejoice in the Lord, and may neither bitterness nor a cloud of sadness overwhelm you, O dearly beloved one in Christ and joy of the angels.